So this is the next shoe I'm gonna be skating, and this is the Accel. I honestly haven't skated this shoe in probably 20 years or something. Even like in this photo, it's probably like 2004 or something, maybe like that. In the early 2000s, the Accel was my favorite shoe. It was my go-to shoe. I mean, there was just a few reasons. Just the way obviously it looked. There were so many skaters that obviously like influenced me with this shoe. I mean, Tom Penny, Ardo Sari, I mean, obviously PJ Ladd. Like there was just so many people who skated this shoe, like Costin too. Like, I mean, literally everybody. And it's such a simple silhouette, honestly. And it's kind of crazy how after all this time, you know, it's back. I kind of want to talk about two things about this shoe. There's something interesting actually about this shoe I do want to talk about, because this shoe right here is the Accel OG. And so there are actually two Accels that are out. One of them is the 95 version, which is the original version, which is funny because it's not called the OG. The OG actually came out in the early 2000s. This is the model I mainly skated in the early 2000s. I think I've only got to skate the actual 95s a few times. I just remember when the OG came out, I remember the box saying that. We all knew something changed about the shoe. We couldn't really tell, and it was definitely the toe box, but we're gonna get into that. Before we actually talk more about this shoe, we got to give a huge shout out to Kelly Hart for making this shoe like come back, the original 95 version, just making this shoe like another staple in S again, because I think we all just know and love this shoe and just kind of love to see it back. But there are definitely a few reasons why I think this shoe still holds up. Even though I haven't skate tested it yet, like I said, in like 20 years, I can already tell you why I think it's held up. First off, let's just talk about the silhouette. I think it's just such like a basic looking shoe, you know what I mean? Not too much is really going on. It just kind of gives you that classic skateboard shoe look. So just visually, I want to say it's just very subtle, very minimal logoing, you know what I mean? Just on the tongue, like the pants kind of cover it up. And then even the pants kind of covered the back a little bit. So the shoe's very minimal branding looking. And it's crazy how, for how minimal it is, it's like you know exactly what shoe it is. The thing I want to talk about with this shoe is how it is triple stitch. Can you guys see the triple stitching all around the shoe? And it's funny how I remember like triple stitch during this time in like Soul Tech was like such a big thing that they would talk about. Also, you know, the insole impact and whatnot. But for some reason, the one thing that always stuck with me was the triple stitch. And I feel like it does make a difference. Skating dunks have only like 2 stitches, and those things blow through so fast. And I feel like if it low-key had one more stitch, it would just hold on a little bit better. Let's talk about the bottom of the shoe. It's funny because this shoe I feel like is notorious for always squealing and making sounds when you do no slides and your foot scrapes. It's kind of giving like the Michelin grip sort of say, you know? And no, this is not the Michelin grip. This is just like the normal sole that it comes with. Don't get me wrong, this shoe is a really bulky shoe, but for it being a cup sole, you'd be surprised how much board feel you get. I don't know if you can actually tell, but you can like push it in pretty easy right there. And like obviously the more you skate it, the more broken in it gets. So for like a cup sole, it's got a ton of board feel. So I think that's another like key thing about this shoe. Being a cup sole, you know what I mean? You want the durability, especially if you're like a tech skater, but also you want a little bit of board feel. So I think that's another reason why this shoe is still like holds up. Yeah, it does squeak a lot though when you do slides, as I remember. Even when Ben is town, he had a pair of white ones and they were squeaking so much. But it's funny because I feel like the actual grip itself isn't like super grippy either. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of like medium grip or whatever. The last thing about this shoe that kind of holds up in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people might not agree with me with this one, but yo, having the big poofy tongue, I feel like I just love having a big poofy tongue. Whenever I do flip tricks, my board always hits me on the top of my foot. So I feel like having the big poofy tongue has always been super crucial for me, like as long as I've been skating. And then even as you can kind of see, it's very poofy around here too. This extra like puffiness right here, I swear helps me heel flip. Even though you're supposed to like obviously heel flip off of here. I don't know what it is here, but it helps me like bounce my heel flip off. So I feel like that also really helps me with this shoe. So long story short, it's kind of funny how this is like a 30-year anniversary Accel right here. And it's crazy how after 30 years, it still holds up. You know, that's kind of wild. I was saying I have the OG models. The OG model is actually going to have it's more of like a smaller, rounded, fattier like toe cap right here. The 95 model is actually going to have a more pointy looking toe cap. I feel like it flicked actually a little bit better than this shoe. And quickly, I want to talk about the history between the OG and the 95. This is what we heard from the guys who worked there. So this is what, I don't know, this is what we heard. During the early 2000s, when the mall shoes, you know, the big puffy mall shoe was really popular. I think it was like a marketing guy or someone at S. They decided that, you know, the Accel was kind of like going to be their puffy like skate shoe that's going to be sold at like, you know, like the mall stores, like Journeys and whatnot. And they actually increased the size like 30% or something, or 10% on like the toe cap, the tongue, and a few other places, just to make the shoe like that big, bulky, chunky skate shoe that like all the mall kids wanted. So it would like, you know, fit in with the other big puffy skate shoes. I want to say during this time, like DVS shoes were really popular, DCs were really popular. You know, just having that big puffy pillow shoe was so hot. I mean, obviously the Osiris D3s and whatnot, but that's kind of like the little quick short story of how it went from the 95 Accel to the OG Accel and why it actually looked bigger. Like I was saying, when I was younger, my friend and I, we always skated this shoe. There was a skate shop, EBS, that we would always go to, Eastern Board Skate. And I literally remember being like, dude, why do the shoes feel different? Like we always get the same shoe. Why are these ones different? Like, are we tripping? And I remember everyone like, nah, it's the same exact shoe. Like, you guys are just kids or whatever or something. And yo, it wasn't. Like, it actually changed. It was different. If my homie Paul, like, if he somehow stumbles upon this video, or if I like ever reach out to him, I'm gonna be like, dude, we weren't tripping. It actually was the shoe. It got changed. I actually think I'm gonna have to go personally go buy a pair of like the brown Tom Penny ones, like so sick. But okay, yeah, so these are some size 9. I'm always size 9 in everything else that I wear. So I kind of just wanted to give you guys a quick little look on how, okay, so the 9 fits perfect. Oh, they look so sick. And they feel honestly just how I kind of remember them feeling. And it's funny, the rounded toe cap, I don't know why. I felt like it was more like kind of chubby and round. I mean, it's pretty round, but I think I'll be able to deal with that. I don't know why. It's crazy how I do remember the other ones being like significantly pointier than this. But oh man, the 9s fit so good, and I feel like they look really good. They're really squeaky and loud, which is going to be super fresh. Oh wow, it's crazy to be back in these shoes, guys. Like, this actually feels crazy. Like 20 years later, putting these back on, wild. So they definitely fit like a glove, just how I remember. But the other thing I do want to mention, the other thing I do like to do when I get new shoes, I do like to crunch them. So usually I'll do this a few times, and then I'll do like reverse crunch this way, you know, like I'll push it inwards like that. You guys can kind of already tell this shoe is brand new, and it's already like, it's very easy to break in. It's like a very, I don't know, it's kind of that great combination between like, it's not a hybrid, it's just a really nice cup sole shoe, you know, a very basic cup sole shoe that just like marks all the boxes, you know what I mean? I swear if this thing had, what's it called? Lace protection, that would be really sick. But otherwise, and do you guys remember the Accel Pluses with the strap on it? That was so sick. And they did make a few other materials in this shoe, like that was the, that brown, like Timberland looking one. I think they are re-releasing it, I think. I could be wrong. I think I saw pictures of it. But that material, I remember, lasted so freaking long. There was like another material that was similar to the Timberland boot, but it was more of like a tan version with the gum sole. And I remember that shoe lasted me months. I think it was an Accel Plus version. I remember, oh, it might have been the PJ Ladd ones, honestly. But yeah, I remember that shoe being so durable too for what it was. Comment, let me know if you guys have ever skated this shoe. Have you guys recently skated this shoe? Because if you have, I am curious to see what you guys think about it. Okay, I felt like I actually didn't do this when I had them on here, but they're already like breaking in pretty good. Like I can already feel the ground sort of say on here. Like I can feel like my toes will definitely have board feel right away. Because the shoe isn't super like thick in that sense. You know what I mean? Like that sole's pretty thin in a good way. It's like another thing about these shoes that I really love is how this tongue is a big elastic tongue right here. I feel like they just don't make them like they used to. Because look, like that's the thing. It's like when it's like on and off, you can just slide your foot right in and out of it. You know what I mean? So if you're lazy like me, you understand this life. You know what I mean? It just makes it easier. It looks, I don't know. I just like how it looks too, honestly. So that's like another reason why I like this shoe. The tongue, man. That elastic, big poofy tongue, we can just like slide it on and off. Oh man, I'm so hyped on these shoes, yo. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Subscribe if you guys want. We're gonna be skate testing these things soon. Literally can't wait to step back in time with these things. And that door just opened by itself. I thought my cat opened it. Oh, I see her. I was low-key sketch. By the way, Spencer 20, actually the 20% off shoes does work on S as well, not just Etnies. It actually works at Etnies, sandyamerica.com. Spencer 20, you already know. I don't got to bug you about it, but yeah, 20% off Accels is not a bad deal. So, and you can stack the code on pre-existing discounts. So take advantage of that. I would. Otherwise, then the Accel's calling me. It's got you on speed dial. So take care, push your hair.